Monorail Transport Base. This 1994 space-themed LEGO system set with the number 6991 contains 573 pieces. It's quite a pricey set nowadays. At the moment when I record this video, the cheapest I could find it for 350 euros. Most sellers even want to have 500 to 700 euros. And there are also some crazy guys who want to have 1,000 euros. All these prices are for sets in used condition. So if they are somehow still sealed sets, they are way more expensive. I haven't found any. As I said before, this is a space-themed set. And in 1994, LEGO had three space-themed series. So there was the Space Police, which were the good guys. Then there were the Spyrians, or the Spyrian series, which were the bad guys. And there was the series called Ice Planet 2002, which were some scientists on an ice planet doing scientist stuff. I don't know. Well, all these sets were held in different colors, so you could them differentiate from each other very easily. The Space Police set was held in green and black colors. The Spyrians were held in red and black. And the Ice Planet stuff was blue and orange and a bit white. So this theme here, or this set here, isn't quite clear in the color scheme. It has another color scheme than the other sets. Most catalogs from 1994 show this set as part of the Spyrian series, and the colors aren't red and black, but it makes sense because here is a little Spyrian, so this could be really part of a Spyrian series. And back in the day, the TV commercials also showed this set next to other Spyrian sets. But there are also catalogs which show it as part of the Space Police series. And it doesn't make much sense because the colors don't fit at all and there isn't a Space Police minifigure. When we now go on into the next year, 1995, then everything starts to make more sense. At least in North America. The North American catalog introduces a new space-themed series. It was called Unitron. And there this set was part of. You had this Monorail set and three other sets. And they all were held in these blue, white, yellow colors. So the Unitron series somehow didn't make it to Europe. And the Europeans only had this Monorail set. Well, they already had it a year before. But because they didn't have the series, they had to include the set in one of the already existing series. So in most cases, they put it into the Spyrian series. Now let's have a look at this giant box. On the side you can see how large the set really is when it is built up. It's 128 centimeters wide, and over here you can see that it's 66 centimeters deep. This really is a large set. Like all the cool 90s sets, at least the bigger ones, this has a flap. So you can look inside the set. Well, back in the 90s, all the bricks would have been in bags and arranged nicely. I only have the set in used condition and some of the inlays are missing, but it's still a cool idea to have those windows and being able to look inside the set before you buy it. The inside of the flap shows which parts are movable and what kind of battery you need. It also shows that there are blinking lights, and there are step-by-step instructions how you can change the direction of those monorail cockpits. On the back side of the box you can see some suggestions for alternative builds. I read somewhere that for these alternatives they used bricks which aren't part of the set, so these aren't really alternative builds, because real alternatives would have to be built with the same bricks. That's not so fine by Lego, but well, most fun is building the main build, so just ignore the backside. I just have unboxed the set and wow, there are really some big parts. Have a look at those rails. They are huge. That's amazing. Well, I bought a set 11 years ago, as I said before, and to be honest, when I bought it, I didn't look inside it. I just stored the set under my table and waited for 11 years to open it. And now I have to see that some of those parts have altered colors. Here you can see it very well. I don't think that I stored them wrong. I guess the pre-owner had the set on display for a while and it was standing in the sun or something like that, so the colors on some bricks changed. You can see it here on some rails. These bigger intersection rails have the most changed color, I think. All in all, I have to say that it's mainly the gray bricks which have changed colors. Also, some of the blue bricks have that problem, but it's mainly gray. Okay, the black bricks aren't a problem. You can't see it on black, but it's a bit sad that all the gray parts have these color changes. Also, the stickers have seen better days. They are almost falling apart. Well, at least they are placed very well. When I was a kid back in the 90s, I wouldn't have been able to place them in such a good way. Well, Here's the manual. Now let's start building up and making the monorail out of all these bricks. I just have completed step 4 on page 5, and here's a little fun fact. The battery the pre-owner used still works. The battery was produced in May 2010 and had as date for end of life in May 2015. But it still works like a charm. Page 12, step 8. I had to place 4 of those 2x2 round plates, and well, I'm missing 2. They aren't here. That's always a problem with used sets. You can't always be sure that the sets are complete, even if the seller says so. Well, I think at least I'm lucky enough that this isn't any important structure. You can't see those round plates later on, where I will put the tires on those things over here, and then the vehicle is able to drive. You won't be able to see the missing plates on the bottom side of that vehicle. Page 13, step 9. I like the way how they connect the front part of the vehicle with the rest. You simply got this axle pin, which goes inside the hole, and this blue part, you can see it over here on page 12, step 5. This blue brick stops the front of the car from turning too much. Let me put it in there. Give me a second. So you see, when I move the front part, the blue thing stops the black thing from moving too much. I have no idea how this plate is called, or how this blue brick with those attached two sticks is called. I will have to look it up. But the idea is great. It wobbles a bit, but not too much. So when you put a driver in front of here, he won't be put upside down if the vehicle is driving on rough terrain. Page 15, step 2. Before I placed these large supports for the monorail track, this base plate was absolutely plain. But the plates of those supports are so big that when placed, they make the base plate bend a bit. Well, I hope in a later building step this gets corrected, but I don't think so. Page 35, step 2. Now I'm building 2 of those like satellite dishes looking high-tech thingies. I don't know if it's supposed to be some radar station or a weapon, a shield generator, I don't know. Well, let's have a look at my problem. I have these two cones. This is the right one. It has an open stat. This one has a blocked open stat. So with the open stat, it's no problem inserting the, let's call it, satellite dish holder. But with the blocked stat, you can't push it very far in. See the difference? Well, I think the pre-owner of the set gave me one wrong cone. Page 44, step 11. Right now I want to build those two lights, and there are more parts missing. I could build the left light. Well, camera, focus on it. But I wasn't able to build a right light. These two parts are missing. This round, transparent yellow thing, and the other brick it is stuck on. The list gets a bit longer, the list of missing parts. Page 47, step 13. It's very interesting how this axle with this wheel is mounted. Let me show you. You see, there is nothing which can hold it. It's just a slope, and these round plates sit, oh god damn it, those round plates sit inside the slope, or better said on top of the slope, and now when I turn the axle, it's absolutely smooth sliding down there, and so the wheel can move too. That's a smart building technique. I reached the last step on page 50 and following. And again, I'm missing one piece. I have to put this 1x2 tile with that yellow arrow. I got it over here. On this 1x2 plate. And, well, I'm missing this last 1x2 plate. But on the bright side, you remember those lights over here? I got this one, and the one on the other side is missing. I found at least the part on which I have to put that round translucent yellow brick thing. Well, I just have to assemble the track and then I'm done. I think I found an error at the final step. It is not possible to place the minifigure inside this cockpit when the minifigure wears its helmet. Let me show you. So, here we got the cockpit, and I placed the minifigure inside the cockpit. As you can see, I can't close the lid. But when I remove the helmet, It's no problem at all. When you have completed the final building step, you can find on the last 2 pages alternative ways to build the track, different routes. But they don't include those bigger parts. So there is not this, let's call it train station, and this, I don't know what it is, this base where you unload the train's cockpits. Well, the set is complete and it really is huge. It's a giant set. It's as big as my table. And for a set from the 90s, this is really impressive. There aren't any parts, when you don't count this yellow light, which can be seen on the final setup, which are missing. So I can live with it. I will order the missing bricks at Bricklink, and well, then I will assemble them too. But I can show you now the whole track, because just this one light is missing, which is obvious seeable. All the other missing parts stay unseen because they are hidden underneath the train or underneath that plate, etc. Oh, and this is a spare figure. It is left over. It doesn't belong to the set, and well, the guy who sold me the set put it inside. I don't know why, but that's nice. So let's power on the train. You have to push down this button, then it will start. Oh. Time didn't do well on it. Oh, come on. My fingers are too fat. They're not children fingers, so... Almost. Come on. Yep, now it started. And it goes round. So you can put it this way round and the train will stop. When you turn it back, it will go on. And when you turn it upside down, the train will change directions. So, for the next round, I want to unload one of those cockpits up there. I do this by changing the track. Oh, I gotta wait a second. It used to be quite easy to do it, I guess, but it doesn't work so good any longer Okay, now we get it. And over there, it will go back. Now I have to change the track again, yeah. And I will let it drive back. And I changed the track direction over here. Bam! It goes back. I have to rechange the direction. And here we go. Oh yeah, I can... Oh no, it's fine. Who cares? The funny thing is, every time the train goes through this train station, this satellite dish starts to spin. I like that idea. Oh, and another cool thing I want to show you is back here. Wait, let me try some light. Yeah, back here we got a little secret spot where this robo guy hides. This, I forgot the name of the series, Spybot? No, I don't know. And well, he can stand over there at the computer and control everything. And here we got one of our heroes. He is inside his base controlling his computer, and if you want to get closer to him or want to play inside the base, you just can open this lid over here, and there you go. Now you have access to that base. Let's just stop the train next round. Yeah, there it stopped. What else we can do is moving this thing. I think it's for changing the directions when you have a cockpit inside that arm on that arm over here. You can turn it around, and yeah, my robo arm puts it on the train again, or whatever. This doesn't really have any function besides doing this manually. I don't know. But it's a nice set. I really like it. It was fun to build up. It was absolutely fun to build it up. I can't say why, but I think it has to do something with nostalgia, because it's completely different to build this set than to build modern sets. But it's so much fun. I don't know why. Maybe because you can build these large buildings with just a few bricks and it goes very fast. And it just feels great. It's amazing. I just noticed during the whole video I called this little fella's series Spyrion instead of Spyrius. Well, I think in the last weeks I spent too much time in a Greek-speaking country, so I forgot about my Western European Latin roots. The Latin us turned into an Greek on. So once again, the series isn't called Spyrion, but Spyrius. So, what is my final verdict about this great set? As a kid back in the 90s, this set definitely would have blown my mind. It's so amazing. All those movable parts and a monorail. A freaking monorail. How cool is that? And it would have been so much fun to play with all those things. I mean, you can detach the cockpits, or maybe they are even little jets, I don't know. And here you got this vehicle, the base to play with, this thing, and I mean, electricity. Isn't that amazing? And of course, I always loved those translucent stuff. It's just great. But it was way too expensive back in '94. I think the retail price was about $180, and that's much money. Back then it was really much money. And I don't know about European prices, but I think it must have been, for example, in Germany, about 300 Deutschmark, and that was really, really much money for a plastic toy. And, well, the prices didn't get better. Nowadays, it's way too expensive, those moon prices, up to 1,000 euros. That's just insane. As a kid in the 90s, this set would be ideal. And I don't know, but I guess kids nowadays still would have fun with this set. I mean, monorails are still cool, aren't they? But for an adult, I don't know if this is the right set. It's way too much money for putting this not very eye-pleasing set on display. And I fear nowadays, at least for an adult, it gets quite boring very fast. I mean, you can drive with this monorail in the circle, and I don't know, I don't have fun anymore with doing this unloading stuff here. Blip. Yeah, it's funny for a moment, but nothing I really need. And yeah, I think for this much money, just for putting it on display, it's not nice enough to look at. But for kids, it's great. But I wouldn't spend so much money for it. It's just too expensive.